He's a convincing man.
He is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of On It. We are here. You got me. You got Devin. Devin. We are here. What's on the sweater? What is that? What is that? What is
As
that?
always, it's a pimento cheese sandwich.
Oh, can we
It,
what is
the
that?
Masters.
I forgot.
Yeah. You
Now
know, it'd be hilarious
what's that?
if I just thought about this. If Giselle's new kid becomes an NFL quarterback.
Now, see, here's the problem. We talk about Tom Brady for 4 seconds before the podcast, and you just go straight to the Giselle jokes.
I think it would be an ultimate thing. Like, she probably knows a lot about football now.
I doubt it.
Probably, but I bet she knows a lot of people in football that she can connect her child with, who also has a background in jiu-jitsu.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. She went so far away from like a football player after Tom. She
Yeah.
probably wants
Maybe
absolutely
he'll be like
nothing.
a UFC fighter or something.
Let's
But it
be
would be the
real.
ultimate go fuck yourself if he wins. If he just
Not
makes the league. I don't know.
not to get too deep
Stupid
into
thought.
not to get too much more deep because we're pretty deep already into a conversation about Tom Brady's personal life. But if we're gonna conclude on it, I'm gonna assume, considering it was the driving force for like it wasn't a woman, like football was the home wrecker of their relationship.
Well, football was also the maker of their relationship, so
Well, it was yeah, but either way,
yeah.
I don't. She probably don't want much to do with football
Yeah,
moving
agreed.
forward.
Agreed.
But sure, jujitsu, do what
MMA.
you want to do. But we are back. We got some things to talk about. We got Week 12 games to discuss. We got Thursday night football, that took place that we got to talk
Mhm.
about. We got some NBA news, some NFL news. But Devin, I guess, do we? I mean, do we predict these games? Do we talk Thursday night football?
Do we get into the ice bowl of all ice bowls? The greatest
So,
game ever played in snow?
so definitely, probably not the best game played in the snow, but
No.
the Browns and the Steelers face off Thursday night football. Definitely was starting to flurry. And then by the end of that
Flurrying
game,
the whole first half.
yeah, they came out in that second half, and at some point it was just a white field. And not gonna lie, forgot how hard it was to watch when it
Yes.
snows like that. Like,
Yeah.
didn't have much of an idea of what was going on.
No,
And I'm
and
not
I mean the Al Michaels had a tough time.
and
Every time someone caught a pass, he was like, "What a catch from Njoku," and it was a different tight end or somebody.
and also kind of confused on how easy it was for, like, it seemed like the refs were making calls easier in the snow.
Were they?
Like I don't know, it just seemed like there were a lot of spots or balls that might have been called incomplete or complete or needed a better look, where it just seemed like they were like, fuck this, he caught it, let's go.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, and maybe not to sound too not to get too like on the conspiracy side, but it almost did seem like they were just, all right, like, on to the next play,
Yeah,
like
Move this
I
along.
can't feel my feet almost type of
Sure.
vibes, like,
Yeah,
um
I guess that happens in snow games. I mean, it was a cool aesthetic. It was while it was like coming down, but once it covered the whole field, it was tough to see. They were trying to set up that whole thing on TV with the black outlines and whatever, but that would move all the time, and that was weird. Um,
But I guess let's just say we were lucky to get these two teams playing in these conditions because we
yes.
were able to still get a beautiful performance from Jameis Winston in the
Yeah.
Jameis Winston theory.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, the theory again isn't perfect, but it does track more than our Kirk theory.
Devin,
Kirk will just have sparse on and off games, but Jameis, as of late, he did have two straight losses, but either way,
did he
this
have two
season
straight losses?
before So their last loss, they lost before that as well. The
Okay,
James.
okay. Well, but see, but it's
But
good
either way,
week, bad week. But we really need to break that down another episode
we'll
and
figure out
really
exactly what it
go through
was.
the
But
history of the Jameis Winston theory. But
yeah,
last game, it did land on a good week for Jameis Winston. So we got a good week for Jameis Winston, and we got a Pittsburgh Steelers team that plays. Well, I mean, they play for a team. They the way they play, it would work in the snow.
yeah,
They're gonna pound the rock as much as they can, milk as much of the time as they possibly can, and just kick
and
field
then
goals.
throw balls up.
Now, Cleveland stopped that run game.
Yep.
Russell Wilson. Now
There were a lot of third downs, a lot of fourth downs that were getting stuffed.
they were showing these stats of Russell Wilson. He was 4 for 6 with 120 yards. Throwing for more than 20 yards that game at one point, and he
Mm-hmm.
was actually he was not Pittsburgh being forced to pass at some times. It looked like it was able to work, but before and after that snow came down, and you could say it was a factor because George Pickens already came out and said that it was a factor and said Cleveland sucks and all this shit.
Well, my thing with
Um,
Pickens is like, if the Browns are really that bad of a team, don't say that. You know how bad it makes the Steelers look that the Browns controlled that entire game and they're a terrible team.
but like they're that bad of a team, why would they be better than y'all in worse conditions? It's just
Yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. But
and yeah, like you said a while ago, or when you texted me, it does snow in Pittsburgh.
yeah, well, it
It
snows in
gets cold.
Pittsburgh. Like it gets cold in Pittsburgh. It snows in Pittsburgh. There are snow games or
Yep.
weather. Weather impacts games in Pittsburgh as much as it does in Ohio.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, Myles Garrett made himself obviously noticed this game. T.J. Watt, did he play?
TJ played. Yeah.
Are you sure?
TJ had some good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Oh,
I
okay.
know he played.
Well, yeah, he wasn't getting to the
It
quarterback. He
might
wasn't
not
getting
have
to James.
seemed like it. Because
He
I
had a few good tackles on during the run game, but whatever. I mean, it was Jameis was slipping in and out of that pocket, making weird throws and shit. And
here's the thing though. He had a few good tackles on a couple of plays.
yeah,
But they also were 4 for 4 on fourth downs.
yeah,
Them Cleveland Browns boys were ballsy as shit. And if you would have
yeah,
told me they were playing that ballsy against that defense with motherfuckers like TJ Watt on that side of the ball,
yeah,
I would have said, all right, well, they're losing by double digits.
yeah,
There's no way the Browns win this game. They go 4 for 4 on fourth downs. Every drive they went for it on fourth down, they scored a touchdown. Two drives, they did it twice. So they got 3 total touchdowns, 3 touchdown drives after going for it on fourth down, plus including the gimme or the go ahead at the end
sure.
to give them the lead to win the game. I mean,
How about Jameis doing a fucking weird, spinny, flippy,
Jameis
dookie
with the
shot into the end zone?
beautiful
That was beautiful.
run.
I was
To
like, please do
me,
not throw that football.
to me, snow, yes, it impacted the game,
Mm-hmm.
but it impacted it on both sides.
And it always will. And it's like,
So,
I mean,
but
the
noticeably,
Steelers started to play way better once it started to snow.
but Russell
That
Wilson did fumble clearly because of the snow,
agreed.
and there were a lot of drop balls on Cleveland's side because of the snow. But I'll
Sure.
put it to you like this: I watched a lot of Cleveland games this year where they were dropping balls like that in the sunny
Sure.
75
Now,
degree
one
weather.
dude who was catching balls was Jerry Judy. Judy looked, when it mattered, Judy was catching balls. That was nice. Like, stats don't show it. He had 80 something yards and 6 catches, but no, he was.
Man, no, that's fuck that. That's something. I'm tired of these inflated stats. Now that 86 is nothing.
Sure.
Now 86.
No, but
no,
no.
I like
Yeah.
you're right. Like
Yeah.
it's nowadays that's nothing. But it's like
When
no,
Jamar has 250 and
you go back and
4
watch
catches,
that
yeah.
game. No, Jerry Judy, he was making plays when it mattered.
When it mattered, he was. Yeah, it was cool to see. I had a lot of bye weeks on my fantasy team, and I picked up Cedric Tillman, and then he fumbled, and then he got his head fucking taken off. You see him try to get up and stumble the shit out of it. He fully to it all over the place, dude.
I had Russ. I had Fairmouth. I didn't start Nick Chubb.
You played Russ?
I did, and I had Pickens.
Damn.
And I had Pickens. But Josh Allen's my quarterback. He has a bye
I
week,
gotcha.
so I had to play Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
Um, but I get besides that game, I mean, Jameis Winston's speech before and after.
awesome.
Um, what he, which, I mean, I don't know how you feel about the Thursday Night Football crew or whatever. Obviously, that like some people on there, maybe aren't the most entertaining
No, I
cast
don't
members.
like
Well,
most of
like,
that crew.
see, but like that's where we disagree. Like, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is entertaining. Andrew
Sure.
Whitworth, there's nothing wrong with like Andrew Whitworth is just a big guy. It's just like, hey, like I don't really know like what's wrong with him. Richard Sherman, he whines sometimes, and we got our problems with him. But it's like, bro, just I don't know. Like honestly, at this point, I'd rather him. Richard Sherman seems when he's in a better mood, it's easier to listen to him talk. Like when he's sitting there bickering with Skip Bayless,
Of course,
it's like
it's horrible.
both of them are annoying. Like
Of
when they're
course.
going back and forth, but like when he's chilling, watching football, and it's halftime. All right, I'll take
I
I'll take
also
it.
I can't say I pay a lot of attention to that shit.
I mean, I enjoy it just because they do try to put on a show and they have the nightcap after and they brought Jameis Winston on after talking about eating snowflakes and shit. Like
Yes.
it was entertaining. And but those are the moments when you get somebody
Yes.
like Jameis Winston on Thursday Night Football.
I
That you
accidentally
know,
left the TV on Prime too long, and they started playing some K-pop
yeah, well, don't they
concert.
usually they usually have a performance after?
It was like a free concert
Yeah, they
in
usually always
somewhere,
have a concert like on
like
Amazon
Twitch
usually.
or
Yeah,
I don't know what the band was called. It was a group
I
of
I couldn't tell you.
Koreans dancing.
I couldn't tell you. But besides that, I mean, I do with all that said, like I'll tie all this in a bow, and the bow is I have to take everything from this game with a grain of salt because AFC North games are just different.
And there were so many weird factors in this game. Now, snow is one of them that affects both sides, but um, the Jameis theory a little bit. Um, but I think what this shows is like the inability of the Steelers to go out and take over games offensively. And if there is something that would hold them back defensively, per se, snow, then they're at a disadvantage.
See, that's the thing. It's like I can't count on snow, but I can count on a team like Cleveland or Baltimore or Cincinnati who is used to the Steelers. They play them twice a year. They know what to look for. The only thing the the only thing that scares me with the Steelers is if they really figure out that Justin Fields
I'm gonna be honest, I
lacking.
didn't like that as
No,
much
uh, it's it
because
worked. It worked against us.
sure,
And he had like a 30-yard rush yesterday against Cleveland. Like
did he?
yeah, no, it works. Like it definitely can come in handy. Uh
My thing with it, I would rather him. I don't know.
but the Steelers like that's just a team
I would
that
rather him
would.
like if they are to do that, have like the like scare the defense a little bit by throwing the ball, maybe
Well, sure, but I
with
just think
Fields.
it's like the Steelers are the type of team that it's like you can know what they're going to do and they're just so I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word I'm trying to use, but they're going to execute.
Yeah,
Like they are just they don't they don't make many mistakes.
no.
So when they put
Um,
Justin Fields out there and the defense knows they're going to run it and they still get the first down and I'm just saying when it's 4th and 1 and they can just easily toss Justin Fields up there and tell him, "Hey, sprint to that sideline, get us a yard." I mean, that's just another it's just
agreed.
another problem to put on the list for when you got to play Pittsburgh.
But same time, that the offense is not scary enough. I mean, I,
You
their offense is scary enough to win games, but it's not scary if they did not have the defense that they do. But when a team finds a way to get in the end zone a few times, Again, like I said, I said last podcast, I said if they can find a way to score, how many touchdowns did they score? The Browns.
Cleveland 3.
Yeah. I said if a team can find a way to score 3 touchdowns, put up 21 points, then they can beat the Steelers.
Okay, I mean, yeah,
Like it's not
yeah.
that they're really not that scary. They just have to get through this defense and play well enough against them.
See, but this was supposed to be one of the easier games they had.
Well, and the whole time they're talking, they're like, this doesn't look like a 2-8 Browns. It's like the Steelers don't look like an 8-2 team.
They don't.
So what the fuck?
They don't.
Like they're not a true 8-2 team, and the Browns may not be a 2-8 team, but they're definitely not that fucking good. Both these teams should be sitting around middle of the pack.
It's just we thought that Cleveland was going to be an easier game because they go on a stretch for Cincinnati. Got to play Cleveland again, Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City, and then Cincinnati again. So,
and I think Cincinnati is going to be by far their toughest test because they are, I'm pretty sure, the best offense in football, or at least one of them.
Wow. All right. Cincinnati's the best offense in football? Like to you?
Well, no, one of them. I don't think that. I think the Ravens are up there.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have. I definitely. It don't have to be Ravens, but I mean
the Lions. But no,
I mean,
just what I mean by that is that.
Yeah, the Lions don't got a flaw.
No, not yet. But no, they also I don't know.
Well, actually, they did. It's 5 interceptions, but they still figure out a fucking win, so it doesn't matter.
Agreed. But when you look at a team like the Bengals, you look at their record. You go, what the fuck's the problem? Not their offense. Their offense is one of the top offenses. So, yeah, a team like the Bengals, they don't have to have a great offense. I mean, a great defense to beat the Steelers. They just have to get through that defense of 3 or 4
I guess, but they gotta worry about. But like you said though, I mean, you just said you only got to put up 3 tutties. I mean, how good of an offense do you really have to be?
Apparently, a pretty good one.
How good would you have said the Cleveland Browns offense was before this
game? But here's the thing: you don't have to be a great offense to put up 3 touchdowns.
You just said pretty good. That's where I'm confused. You just said you have to be pretty. You got to be apparently pretty good. I say how good you got. Yeah,
apparently pretty good because the amount of times that the Steelers have held teams to less.
Like Baltimore.
Like Baltimore.
But at the same time, I think Baltimore. I mean, they have the skill or capability to go out there and put up definitely 3 or more touchdowns against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
For sure.
But it just didn't happen. At the same time, I mean, I don't know. The Steelers, Bengals twice is a problem, but they still got to play us again. They got to see Philly, and they got to see Kansas City. And they got to play Cleveland again, which they're definitely going to be pissed. And I mean, in Pittsburgh, they're probably going to win that game. I don't think they lose twice to Cleveland.
We'll figure out where the theory lies on Jameis. But yeah, I don't think they'll lose twice to Cleveland.
But that's why
I think at best they split with y'all and the Bengals.
But see, that's why it's I don't know. That's why I have to take it with a grain of salt because I'm sitting here easily saying I think they're going to go in there and beat Cleveland after they just lost to Cleveland.
Sure.
It's the AFC North. It's like I really cannot be shocked about who wins, about who the winner is. I mean, no matter what the record is. I mean, this is just a prime example of fuck the record. This is the AFC North.
Yeah, they play the Browns in 2 weeks. Which,
so I just lock you in for Cleveland.
You can lock me in. Yeah,
all right, so I'll just lock you in for Cleveland. Perfect. Yes. I guess let's predict these Week 12 games.
Yeah.
We got Week 12 games. We got 12 games besides Thursday Night Football to predict. Some 6 teams on a bye week this week. First game we got Dallas versus Washington.
All day.
Devan.
All day.
Devan.
We need to bounce back. 2 straight L's. Couldn't get them done. Either of those games.
So I don't got to worry about y'all, right?
I think I hope not. It's I almost said it's in FedEx like that means anything. Um, doesn't mean I think we changed the name of the stadium. I can't remember, but yeah, doesn't mean a damn thing where we are.
Northwest Stadium.
Nice, but we should put the business on the boys. Uh, they're still rocking with what's his nuts out there,
Coop.
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 Um, hopefully they don't have like a bounce back game, the Cowboys, and try to smoke us out. But I really don't think they have the ability to right now. They don't have a run game, barely got a pass game, and the defense is shaky at best. So
Yeah, I would say y'all probably yeah, y'all should win this game.
But I want to see like a slaughter. I want to see an offensive slaughter.
Yeah,
I don't know if we will. But
I was gonna say like I hope it's more of like y'all just don't let shit slide.
yeah,
Like it is y'all put up 35 points and they might hit double digits.
yeah.
Like it needs to be. It
I
kind of does need to be a
I'm
slugfest.
I'm cool taking a dub, but I want us to prove that we are worth where we're at right now.
I gotta slaughter them so y'all can go back and have that rematch versus Philly.
Is it in two
Be
weeks?
legit. Is it in 2 weeks? I don't know when it is, but I mean, I'm just saying you're gonna
Nah,
sit
we got
there
the
and
titties next week.
you're gonna sit there and trail behind Philly for a little bit. At least look dominant against a team that Philly would look dominant against.
Of course.
Type
Did
shit.
Philly dominate Dallas?
I mean, I'm not
I'd
gonna
like to
lie.
think so.
Off of memory, I can't tell you, but 34-6 they lost to Philly. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's a dub.
34-6. So there, that's the
That's our
goal.
standard.
It has to be 34-6 or better.
Yeah.
Which I said
Well,
35 and might
I'll take a
maybe
dub.
hit.
I don't really give a fuck.
No, you'll take a dub. So if it's 10-13,
It's not going to look good at all, but I would
Devin,
take the dub.
Devin, if it's 10-13,
I want at least two scores. I want it to be a two-score game.
okay, I'll take that. I'll take that as well as a non-Washington fan, but I will take that. But if I'm a Washington fan, nah, I need
I
34
would
to
love to
6.
see more than two scores, but I'll take two.
I need
If it's within 8 points, I'm gonna be pissed.
34 to 6. That's what I need. We got Detroit versus Indy. I mean,
Yeah,
what are we
I
doing
hope
here?
Indy's not making a push. I hope. I mean, I don't know. I'm taking the Lions, but I think the Colts beating the Jets doesn't really say anything. Just where the Jets are at.
No, absolutely not. I think more
I think
so.
I think this defense is really going to attack AR and anything that they have going offensively.
Yeah, I think if anything, maybe this is a game that AR would probably want to tap out for.
He might. He's going to get outworked in this game.
Because
He will never tap out again.
I
I
will
don't think
say,
we'll ever
oh
see a quarterback tap out ever again.
no. Well, here's the problem with AR. Now he's gonna like play like through everything.
Yeah, which
He's
sucks.
gonna play through everything and like collapse one day on the
Well,
field.
it's like, but that's the
Like
thing
everything.
with a quarterback. You don't have to play through everything, but you have to play through tiredness and exhaustion.
But it's like when we're growing up watching like Matt Stafford's like arm hang out, and
Dude,
he's like
exactly.
going down. He's like clock it, and
Yeah.
then he fucking dives in for a touchdown. It's like,
Well, no, he clocked it through a touchdown pass, and he's like,
oh,
"Oh,
was it?
yeah."
Was what? Okay, yeah, you're right.
Threw a pass, got hit, got up. He's like, "Fuck!" Ran
No,
down, clocked it.
he faked. No, he faked the clock, and you're right. He threw it, got hit, but then he faked the clock. I want to say
I have to rewatch that thing again. But he did throw a touchdown pass on that drive. Threw it, kind of turned away, and then ran to the sideline.
He did. So maybe he faked the spike, went for it, didn't get it. I don't know. Either way, because that's not important. Because Anthony
No.
Richardson, unless he's fucking doing that,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no chance. And that's kind of a weird tie-in to the Lions, but the Lions are winning this game.
Yeah. I don't know. The Lions offensively they're really there. Defensively they're pretty good. They should pee on this team.
So we got the Chiefs versus the Panthers. So I figured, Devin, instead of us doing any analysis on this game, I just ask you, like, what's your favorite Italian dish?
hmm. Um, I love a carbonara. A carbonara is nice.
I have no
Um,
clue what that is.
it's pasta.
Ah,
Good
okay, okay,
stuff.
okay.
Um,
Does pizza count?
pizza counts,
All right, well then you
but
have the
there
answer.
is a difference between like Italian pizza and like regular
Yeah, to
pizza.
me,
I
like,
do hate though. I don't like Italian pizza culture. Like where they're like, it's gonna be. I almost did a fucking British accent. The fuck I'm talking about beans on fucking potatoes now. But no, I hate how it's like you gotta eat fucking cheese pizza. It's gotta be fucking sauce. It's like fuck, put whatever the fuck you want on a pizza. It's bread and fucking sauce and shit. Gives a fuck.
well, I just
Make it taste fucking good.
when I think Italian food, I just always go to like a pasta of some sorts.
Always, yeah.
But then I
I don't
realized
know.
like,
I'm blanking on pastas that I like. A penne is great.
well, you like vodka pasta, like vodka
Love a
sauce
vodka, dude.
pasta.
I,
Uh,
my brain is not working,
See,
but
I'm very basic. Like I'm like, yeah, pizza, spaghetti. Like give me regular
sure.
Americanized fucking spaghetti and pizza.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean we can do anything with Italian food. You know what you can
Even
also do?
Alfredo.
Alfredo's good.
Okay, I mean it's definitely top three.
Sure.
It's
It's
up
top
there.
whatever you want it to be. I hate the Italian food culture where they're like, it has to be made with this. You can't put this in it.
Neither of
Fuck
us
off.
are
We're gonna
Italian,
fucking
so it's
eat
like,
food. Suck my nuts. I don't give a shit.
yeah.
What we can do though is move on to the next game because this sucks.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Kansas City. Um, because it's the fucking Panthers. Vikings
It
Bears.
says they're not bringing back Pacheco.
Yeah, why would they waste their time bringing him back?
Agreed.
Then?
I agree.
No, yeah, let
I
bro
think that's
rest.
very smart.
Vikings Bears.
I really hope that the Panthers win now. I
That's
feel like, dude, we're not. If they don't play their starters during
no, that
week
would be
12,
hilarious.
that'd be awesome.
And
They're like, yeah, we're sitting pat right now.
we spent 5 minutes talking about pasta, and they fuck around and beat the Chiefs. That
Fuck
would
around and
be.
fuck everybody up. Yeah,
I mean, that would be the play of the century.
it'd be the ultimate. Yeah.
But Vikings Bears.
Um, that's tough for me, man.
I mean, if anything, really, this just will put an end to the Chicago hope of a playoff run or playoff spot. I mean, they'll be 4-7 if they do lose this game. Vikings definitely, even after last week, they catch their dub. It's like I still like versus like a team like Tennessee, a team like Chicago, like they need to beat the dog shit out of them.
Well, they beat the Jags 12-7. They beat the Colts 21-13. Lose to the Rams. Play a close one against the Lions. Again, beat the Titans.
Then that's what I'm saying. It was after those two losses. All right, we started talking about it. They beat Tennessee, and it's like they beat Tennessee. There was no issue with how they didn't have to struggle versus Tennessee, but still, it just they don't seem as dominant as they were that first what 7 game
5 weeks.
stretch. That was it.
Um,
They didn't go. They
but
didn't go
I
seven
mean,
and 0.
no.
7-0. They lost. They didn't go 7-0, lose two straight, and then just win last week.
Did they not?
I thought that's how it went.
No.
We can
They won 3 straight. Yeah, they lost. They lost
okay.
two.
Okay.
Well, they went 5-0, lost the Lions, lost to the Rams, and then won 3 straight.
5-0 had a bye week. Week 7 lost.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But yeah, no. If like since those 2 losses, they have not re-cemented themselves as a truly contending team. Again, they have the record to easily make the playoffs, but we have no idea how good this team is going to be down the stretch. Again, the defense still looks good. They're not having to put up a shit ton of points against these shit teams, but I want them to make a move. But at the same time, you could catch the Bears on a good day, and the Vikings can get fucked up.
But I am gonna go with Minnesota.
I'm going to take Minnesota, but I'm not. There's a very big possibility they lose this game.
Big?
Not big, but bigger than what if this game was week 6 or week 7, we would have thought about it differently than right now.
Okay, yeah, but see, okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like they need
It's
to be,
also a divisional game.
they need to roll over, Chicago and get back to
Yeah.
looking dominant like they did those first 5
I'm
games.
not sure they ever will. I'm not sure they are a dominant team.
That's what I'm saying. If they want to beat any of these fraudulent, these fraud allegations,
Sure,
they
got to,
they got to
but
prove it. Um, New England versus Miami.
yeah,
Now
New England's weird, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. I sat here before trying to think of like, is there a chance New England pulls this off? And the more I looked at it, it's like New England. Like I think there's maybe the recency bias hype of like, Drake May actually not being too bad, and they have some type of excitement for the future, and it's like maybe they're getting too ahead of themselves, like asking for a win over the Dolphins this season when they're clearly not better than the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And just Miami doesn't look great at all.
No.
But I feel like if this is a semi-normal NFL Sunday,
Yeah.
Miami
if we match these teams up position to position, it's
Miami
a lock.
should win this game.
Yeah.
It might be closer than the favorite. Their favorite is 7 points. It might be a little closer.
That's a crazy favorite.
They might be.
That's a crazy line, but the Patriots would have to pull off something, something that they haven't really been able to do this year. Again, I'm not doubting the Patriots' ability and Drake May's ability. I think May will be pretty good. But yeah, it's just the rest of that team. I mean, their defense is okay. The offensive weapons aren't there. Ramondre's not what he was. It's
not. It's. I think it's.
This would need to be like a complete flip, a turnaround. If Miami is going to play like they should, Miami can come out and shit a brick, and Tua can throw 8 picks, and it'll suck. But if Miami plays like Miami is supposed to be playing, like they're supposed to be, what the fuck? Like they've supposed. My brain's not. I had a stroke. I'm gonna go eat my own shit. Miami's not as good as they're supposed to be.
No, as they were expected to be. No, they're not. But I will go with Miami.
Yeah, this isn't the time to make stupid bets, especially when I don't have any real confidence in the Pats. Give me the Dollies.
All right, finally something to talk about. Tampa Bay versus the New York Giants.
Is it really something to talk about?
Well, a few days ago, Daniel Jones was the starting quarterback for the New York Giants.
He was.
And then he was benched, becoming a backup quarterback for the New York Giants.
He became the 4th string.
And then he got released by the New York Giants.
Now, they said it was a mutual separation, which Daniel Jones was never going to earn back that spot. They have DeVito and they have Drew Lock. They're not wasting their time anymore with a Daniel Jones. They decided to take the move on DeVito over Lock. Sure, whatever. I personally would have taken Drew Lock, but also who gives a shit? It's the fucking Giants. They're not going to make the best decision.
You want to talk about a toxic quarterback room?
Exactly.
You got Daniel Jones, who basically was like, if it was mutual, then it's like, okay, you had your starting quarterback at one point go, I want the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You got your quarterback who was listed as QB2, expected to get the starting position, get jumped over by DeVito.
Yeah.
He comes out and says, Drew Lock, I mean, he was pissed. He's pissed. They
Yeah,
asked him at the in the interview or whatever conference they're meeting up in the locker room talking to him, and he was like, yeah, I don't know why I'm not starting. I don't know. I was QE2. I expected to take over if shit went south with Daniel Jones, and he didn't. He did
yeah.
not take over.
Well,
I
now
don't.
we have to see fucking all of this fucking Italian bullshit with DeVito, his fucking dumbass fucking manager. I know we're shitting on Italians, but it's just a whole charade of bullshit for a dude who's okay. Like we don't know how fucking good this guy is. Um, Drew, at least in his career, has shown some potential. DeVito had what, a few games last year,
I mean, did he have a few a few moments?
a few moments, whatever. Cool, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're gonna have a dude be the second string all year long, why not just have DeVito second string?
Yeah, no, I don't understand that at all. But also, we got Mike Evans returning,
Really?
expected to be playing on
Well,
Sunday.
that's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. Just in time too, because you got Atlanta, who is continuing to lose.
Hmm.
So the NFC South was not as locked in for them as we thought, and you have Tampa Bay sitting at 4-6. The real question
What are
is,
the Falcons? 6-5.
I believe so. I can go and look right now. The Atlanta Falcons are 6-5. Yes, so they are six
Cool.
and five. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 4-6. Now, if we take a look, the real question is, could they possibly somehow make the playoffs?
Yes.
Because they got the Giants, they got the Panthers, they got the Raiders, they got the Chargers, they got the Cowboys, they got the Panthers, they got the Saints.
Damn. Damn. I mean, that the toughest game is the Chargers.
The
We don't
toughest
know where
game
they'll be by that time.
at week 15, we really don't know where they'll be.
Now, granted, we don't know where.
Tampa,
What other team was I saying? Well, obviously
Atlanta.
Tampa. Dallas. Hopefully, Dallas doesn't make any type of weird type of push.
What is up with you and thinking that Cooper Rush is going to turn up for Dallas? Like, it's not.
Well, I'm thinking that that Trey Lance might take over that spot at some point, but Jerry Jones is not smart.
But the Bucks on a
So
possible 3-game winning streak going into a game against the Chargers.
a game against the
I'll
Chargers
take that.
that puts him at Salmon 6, and
We're basically looking at Tampa Bay having, I'd say, one of
they've
the
already played the Falcons twice now.
yes, and they lost twice, but they
So they're
also
going to need the Falcons to
they're
continue
gonna
to
need
lose.
they're gonna I would say they probably have one of the best chances to win out of all the
Yes,
teams in this
yes.
league. They have
I mean, two
the
against
best
the
chances to
Panthers.
win out. I mean, they put up 51 last time they played New Orleans.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be able to beat New Orleans. And if we go over to Atlanta, who are 6-5, they have a bye week, and then they have to play the Chargers. They have to play Minnesota. They got to play Vegas, then the Giants, then they got to play Washington, and then they get Carolina. So they do have some gimmies as well. But if we
But
looked at it,
overall, that is tougher.
well, okay, say Tampa Bay lost one more, and they were sitting
Mhm.
at 10-7. I'm looking at. I think Atlanta could lose to the Chargers. I think they
Mhm.
could lose to Minnesota. I think they could lose to y'all. That's
It's
nine
9
and eight.
games.
That's 9-8. That's one game behind. That's the NFC South for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
But we could
Um,
also be looking at a tie where the Falcons would take that, no?
well, the Falcons, yeah. Well, if
Now,
they
does it go off a divisional record or?
divisional record, yes, it goes on
Oh,
divisional record. So I mean, technically, yeah, they could have 2 games over them, but if they have a better divisional record, they'll get it.
mhm.
But either way, you get the one game over. I think we might possibly see Tampa Bay coming back and winning this NFC South.
I mean, everything would have to go right for them, but they're not playing tough teams. Like, there's not. Is there any team on there with a winning record?
Atlanta, you're saying who Atlanta
No,
plays?
no, no, no. Who Tampa has to play?
I guess the Chargers.
Sure.
The Chargers. That's about it. I mean, it's just it's. I think it's more likely that the Falcons play good enough to still win this division.
Yeah.
But I think at the very least the Bucks are going to do everything they can in their control.
Yeah.
Everything in their control, they will be able to do.
Which means they need to spoil Tommy DeVito's return, which I
Yes.
think they will.
Yes, I also think they will. So with all that said, I am also going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Titans versus Texans.
Yeah. Um, we can hang up all the Will Levis stuff. Again, the Titans really don't have anybody. Is Calvin Ridley still healthy? I have no idea.
Yeah,
Um,
he's healthy.
Nick Westbrook, Ikeen?
See, okay. Here's the thing though. Fuck the Titans thing. The Texans though.
Yeah.
I think they should win. I think, but going into this season, I would have said, yeah, Houston's blowing Tennessee out twice.
By blowing a titch off them.
Am I not weird for thinking it's going to be closer than people think? Or am I weird for thinking it's going to be closer than things? Because I
Now,
personally,
do you think there's a possibility of it being close, or do you think it will be close?
I don't know how good the Texans are this year.
I agree.
And when I say that, it's the same way when I talk about the Bills. It's like I'm not saying they're not a good football team.
Agreed.
I don't know if they're that good. Let me see if I can paint a picture for you. So you got Houston and Green Bay last year, right? And then Houston last year started playing pretty well and their stock started to rise. Now, at the same time, Green Bay's stock started to rise, and we were like, okay, that's cool. And then it got to the point where after last season, Houston shot up to be this, they're
Juggernaut.
destined to come back this season and locked and loaded, and they're going to.
They got Steph.
And Green Bay also took a jump. I wouldn't say as high, but just expectation level. The future was hot. Like the future was bright.
They took a bigger jump, I think, in the NFC. But the Texans started to at least be looked at as a true contender in this league.
I would think that there's a possibility that Houston might be more here.
Packers level.
Well, maybe you knock Green Bay down just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Sure.
You knock them down just a little bit, the trajectory they're on.
But the future of this team is still very high.
It's
high.
just
the execution this year, the living up to everything isn't. They're winning games, but it's not this.
Yeah, but when you really look at it, if you really look at Houston and who they've beaten, it's like, all right, they beat Indy, they beat Chicago, they lost to Minnesota, they beat Jacksonville. They were able to beat Buffalo 23-20.
Well, that was
the Josh Allen.
That was the Sleepy Bowl.
Yeah, and came back in. They beat New England. They lost to Green Bay. They beat Indianapolis. They lost to the Jets. They lost to Detroit, and they beat Dallas. So
I mean, shit.
I mean, they're not.
I think we just overhyped the Texans last year. Again, they're not bad, but
That's what I'm saying.
Like you said, the same thing with the Bills, where it's like after 3-4 games into the Bills season, it was like they're gonna fucking murder everybody. But no, the Texans for sure were overhyped, but still a good enough team to make the playoffs this year and down the road. But I mean, if you look back at last year, they were in a big playoff race. I mean, it was cool because CJ was a rookie. You wouldn't expect them to make the playoffs. But now CJ's not a rookie. And now it's like, go out and perform the fuck out of it.
They were expecting a huge jump. When I think
especially getting Steph and just we were expecting this team to mature and somehow get a lot better. But I don't know. Similar trajectory to last year.
But just going on, winning the AFC South again, just continuing to make the playoffs, I think is a better ask than I don't know, them they expect in what. I mean, it just the way Houston was talked about, it's like they're going to be in the AFC Championship this year.
Of course, yeah.
And it's I don't know if that happens, but I am going to go with Houston. They should beat Tennessee.
Hmm.
I think this could all mean nothing, and they can go out there and beat Tennessee by 20 points.
But here's
And
the thing. I mean, the Lions just beat Tennessee by what, 46?
yeah,
Beating Tennessee by any margin, who cares? As long as it's not, as long as they don't lose or if it's too close or whatever, that's when we can start to show concern. But they can beat Tennessee by whatever, and it won't really matter.
I mean, I would just say like I didn't think the shining star for Houston this year from their offense would be Joe Mixon.
Sure,
I mean, when you look at, I mean, it is
they
kind of
did. Yeah, they picked up Mixon.
it
So
is kind of underwhelming. C.J. Stroud, I mean, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And it is a little underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie,
of course,
especially.
but
I want to see if we can. I don't know what the hell I just clicked on. I'm just curious to see C.J. Stroud. Yeah, I mean that rookie year. I don't know. It
what were his
just
numbers?
where the fuck is it at?
Well,
2023.
it's impressive.
I mean, he had 23 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, so he's already got more interceptions than he did his rookie season.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, he had 500, he had 499 attempts in 2023, and only threw 5 interceptions.
dang.
He's thrown 363 balls this year, and he's thrown 7. I mean, it's just I don't know.
But here's the thing: your first year, you get compared to the rookies drafted in your class. In his case, he was compared to Bryce. By mid-season last year, he started to get compared to better quarterbacks.
uh,
Then by the offseason, it's like, how good is he compared to Burrow, Jackson, Mahomes, Allen? He gets put into those conversations now. So same thing's going to happen to Jaden Daniels. He's going to blow out everyone in his rookie class, and then he's going to get thrown in the pool with everybody else.
well, and at the same time, that I think CJ. I mean, you put him in what? What? How high do you think they were ranking him after last season?
For sure, top 10.
Top 10. And I mean, is it wrong?
I
Is
think we no,
I
and that's the thing. It's like compared to quarterback play this year, he's still top 10. I think.
but like
I'm not sure exactly, but I mean I think we were deciding between Dak and CJ around that 9-10 spot
but
area.
like after last season, I was saying like maybe it's not like what I was saying. Like I guess we figured out there is a middle ground between maybe not replicating just an amazing rookie year, but that doesn't mean you're going to drop all the way down to having some type of sophomore slump.
Yeah,
There's a middle ground where it's like there's still some bumps, there's still some kinks we got to work out, but I don't know. I don't want to. They're definitely not on some fraudulent level like the Vikings are, but in
no,
terms of where they rank this season amongst their peers, I don't I don't know.
I don't know. I just think that expectations are too high. I mean, I don't think he's having a bad season, but yeah, we'll see. I still think he's good. The Texans can do their thing in this division.
Denver versus Vegas.
Um, Divisional game, but Vegas is at this point poverty.
Yeah, Denver should
So
100% win this game. And Denver, I mean, what? Denver's sitting at
Denver's about to be seven.
Denver's about to
Fucking.
be 7-5. After that, they get to play Cleveland. They go into their bye week.
Well, the problem is
Indy.
there's no touching the Chiefs. So
Yeah. See, but here's the thing, though. Before this season, we were like, you got to win the AFC West if you're going to want to make the playoffs in the AFC West. There's a world where they could beat all of these teams
hell yeah.
left. Like, besides, all right, now Chargers, Cincinnati, Kansas City is a crazy final 3 stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But you go 2 for 3 in that. Say Kansas City, they play Kansas City week 18. Say they sit all their starters.
True.
And Broncos still have a chance to make the playoffs if they win this game. I mean, there's a world where the Broncos sneak into the playoffs. And if Bo Nix sneaks his ass into the playoffs,
Hype.
You want to talk about the hype a quarterback's gonna get, a rookie quarterback's gonna have?
Especially for the fucking team that Bo has.
Dude, if multiple rookie quarterbacks over Caleb Williams make the playoffs this year, it's
Dude,
going to be a crazy narrative
of
pushing
course.
off season.
Of course.
Um,
I mean, but it's
with
it's not
Denver.
even the fact that it's less of like a diss on the quarterback. Like it's less of a shit on Caleb himself, and more so on it still is a shit on him. The fact that Bo Nix and Jaden are probably going to make the playoffs or could make the playoffs, but also on the organizations. Washington did not put together a team that it's essentially the same team as last year, few different pieces, a few less pieces. Um, Same thing with the Broncos. Nothing really special about that team.
No,
That's changed.
but
The
they
Bears brought out every stop they could to try to make this team a for sure playoff team.
and they are not even going to make the playoffs, Devin.
Well, they could. We don't know. But
Chicago?
anything's possible, but they probably won't.
Anything? Yes, anything is possible. Jesus could come back tomorrow and tell us who's going to win the Super Bowl.
I sure hope
not,
so, dude.
It's just not. It ain't going to happen. Arizona versus Seattle.
What do you think Jesus looks like?
I don't know.
I was gonna say stuff to just piss.
Honestly, a lot more tired than people would probably expect.
Works pretty fucking hard, apparently.
Yeah, I'd say probably tired. Probably like needs a nap.
Yeah. Maybe a forever nap would be nice for him. Another one of those.
Well, I mean, then he just wakes back up whenever he wants. I mean, that seems like the life.
True.
You get to.
I also. Yeah, don't. I don't think he's real, but cool.
I was gonna say how much longer you want to go in this Jesus?
Yeah, I don't want to continue. I could give two shits about Jesus.
There's only one savior, Devin.
Yeah.
Arizona versus Seattle. Big
Ooh.
NFC West implications here.
Huge.
Way bigger.
5-5 and 6-4.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's not much to break down for this game, Devin. I think Seattle still sucks.
I know, but you really think the Cards are good?
We started this season going, hey, maybe the Cardinals aren't that bad. They lost a game or two, and we were like, all right, they kind of suck. Then we were like, okay, maybe Arizona might not be that bad. My whole year, it's like Seattle sucks. Seattle's 3-0, they suck. Seattle loses games, they suck. Seattle's 5-5, they suck. Seattle to me sucks.
Sure.
Cardinals win this game. Cardinals want to win the NFC West.
Seattle just beat the Niners, brother.
The Niners suck.
Well, the Niners need to.
The Niners are
figure
about
out
to be
something.
5 and 6. So I mean, if we really want to talk about it, but the Cardinals are. It sounds like you're going with Seattle.
No. But I this game to me isn't like a holy shit. It's gonna be a fucking slaughter fest.
You sure?
It's probably gonna be close. The Cardinals have the ability to fucking really fuck this shit up.
Yeah, but so does
DK is
Seattle.
still a
Like,
guy.
Seattle's a bad football team. I don't care what anybody. Nobody's ever going to.
So are the Cardinals. The Cardinals are fucking.
No, they're not. Why are they? What? Why? Why are they a bad football team? You can't tell me why. You can't tell me why they're a bad football team. There's still legitimate possibilities and legitimate chances of success with Kyler Murray at the helm. Geno
Sure.
Smith is a filler. He is a filler until the main character.
Well, he's a filler for whatever reason they decided to throw their basket of eggs into his butt.
He is a filler till they find the motherfucking main character. He's who you think the main character is until the movie really gets started and you go, oh shit. I mean, I'm telling you, he is the trailer to what an NFL quarterback is. And that's no hate on Geno Smith. It's just I'm tired of him being talked about. Like, I'm just saying, bro. It's like
no, Geno knows, dude. Geno knows that he's.
Bro,
it's like it's like if Jacoby Brissett just started the ball. You know what's funny is is it Geico that's been making those commercials with the backup quarterbacks?
What you mean?
I don't know. It's some insurance company is making commercials with backup quarterbacks. So they got like Colt McCoy and a few other dudes,
Okay.
and it's like
Yeah.
being backups for husbands or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then this week, Jacoby Brissett pops up, and it's like this motherfucker started the first fucking 5 games of the season, but
Oh,
he
so
is
he knows.
a must. I mean,
Gino
but
knows.
he is a backup. I'm assuming they filmed that in the off season, and then once he became a backup, they're like, all right, this is career long backup Jacoby Brissett. But
Gino's just a guy that found a team to give him a contract. That's all it was.
agreed.
That's all it was.
But 5-5 for a shit team is in this division is not that bad. I'm taking the Cardinals. I expect a close game.
All right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we fucking got? San Fran versus Green Bay. I mean, no Brock Purdy, no Nick Bosa,
No Brock Purdy.
no Brock Purdy, no Nick
Who the fuck's their
Bosa.
quarterback?
Brandon Allen.
Am I an idiot?
I mean, not for anything involving this game. But
Agreed.
I'm just gonna say this: the 49ers offense better miss Brock Purdy.
Yeah, agreed.
If they go out there and look any similar to how they would look with Brock Purdy playing
Well,
quarterback
if they play better,
or better, I do not ever want to hear a conversation about Brock Purdy leading a team to this, capable of doing that. He is the ultimate system quarterback, game manager, whatever you want to call it. The Packers better win this fucking game.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
all I'm gonna say. I'm going.
I mean, What CMC came back last week, didn't have a great game. I'm expecting CMC to kind of ball out.
He played all right. I mean,
He did all right. I
was
can't
all right.
remember.
Nothing crazy, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, if this team plays better and plays well and beats the Packers, again, I don't have a lot of hope in the Packers. Again, defense is pretty good. I still don't trust Jordan Love, but
nope,
I'll take them.
He'll probably
Now, if Brock Purdy was playing and Nick Bosa were playing, would you take the Niners?
It'd be a conversation. It'd be a conversation. I mean, considering Jordan Love, I still don't know if he's healthy.
Sure, yeah. Because it's been like just nagging injuries all year.
I mean, it would have just been a little bit more of a problem, just a bigger problem to worry about in Nick Bosa on the defensive side of the ball. And I mean, to just say your starting quarterback won't play. I mean, yeah, it's gonna, no matter who you are, it's like, yeah, well, y'all should probably lose. I hope.
Mm-hmm.
I hope y'all aren't still good enough. If y'all are still good enough to win, it's like, well, then you probably should start having conversations about who's playing quarterback and why you would ever pay the person that you were considering paying in Brock Purdy. But I'm going with the 49ers. Or, excuse me, I'm going with the 49ers losing because the Green Bay Packers are winning this game.
Yes. But yeah, this could go really bad for Brock Purdy's career.
It could. This could be the Brock Purdy.
Because this is his contract year.
A game that Brock Purdy doesn't play in could end Brock Purdy's career.
This could be a Wally Pipp situation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's exactly who I was trying to think of, but was never gonna pull that name.
For real?
Yeah.
Every time I try to think of it, I always forget it, and then I got it. Look up Wally Pipp.
Eagles, Rams.
Eagles.
Yeah, I mean the Rams sadly suck.
I mean, but here's the thing. Niners go out and lose if it doesn't really matter who wins between Seattle and whatever, but
they're gonna root for. I'd say Rams would probably root for Seattle. It would knock down. It wouldn't let.
But
get another game ahead.
The Rams win this game. They're sitting 6-5. I mean, even sitting 5-6 in this division, not too fucking bad. They got a chance. Yeah, I don't think there will. I mean, there could be a wild card team from this division. We'll see how this season shakes down. But the
Philly
Eagles
takes
need
us.
to cement what they're doing, lock it the fuck in.
Philly would really put a bigger.
Saquon is still carrying this fucking team.
Philly would put a bigger lock on that East. I mean, they would
Yeah.
be sitting at 9-2. I think. Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty simple. I think Philly's winning this football game.
Yep.
And then we got Monday Night Football.
Monday. The
We
Hard
got
Bowl.
the third
iteration.
Bowl. The third Harbaugh Bowl, Devin.
Was this first before the Super Bowl, or was it after?
Yeah, it was the year before on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We're 2-0. They're 2-0. John is 2-0 against.
John is 2-0 against old Jimothy.
Now.
Jim is healthy, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been healthy ever since the one issue.
Yeah.
But let's see. How worried as a Ravens fan should I be?
A little bit. A little bit worried.
I will say that this is. You could say this for plenty of Ravens games, but this is definitely one of those games where we're going to have to beat ourselves to lose.
Yeah.
We play great against the run, and the problem is we might get caught slipping in the pass against better receivers than what the Chargers have to offer.
Oh, yes. I thought you were saying the Chargers had better receivers.
No. I'm saying if we lock down that J.K. Dobbins momentum and then we force them to pass, yeah, I get it. Justin Herbert can deliver, but they just don't have the receivers to do it. Now, can our DBs make them look a little more special than they actually are? We could.
Probably.
But at the same time, I think we're gonna have Tre'Davious White in there used even more. I still believe in this defense. I think Roquan is gonna be good to go on Monday as well. This offense needs to bounce back, take advantage of. I mean, look. Chargers 7-3. No matter how good you think they are, if they can go out there and put up fucking 10 point dub over a team like the Chargers, I'll take it, especially after they lost last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Offensively, you guys need to show the fuck out just to make up for any defensive struggles that you might have, whether it be JK going crazy or playing well enough, or making their shit dick receivers look not shit dick. Yeah, gotta show the fuck out. Run the ball. Derek's gotta have a great week. Get the ball to Mark. Get the ball to Zay. Shit. Try to bring in Deontay a little bit. Spread the love. Show different looks. Do what you guys have done most this year.
I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it if we were able to do that. So, in not the most confident way, I am going to go with Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm going with Baltimore. But, yeah.
And that wraps up all of Week 12's games. Now,
I mean, the Chargers are another team that maybe not deserve their record.
Are they?
I guess they might. I don't know.
Are they a team? I don't know. I mean, the Chargers,
they're okay.
We've been sleeping on them a little bit.
Did you hear Harbaugh called Justin Herbert? He was like, not only is he one of the best quarterbacks in this league, he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. It's like, shut the fuck up.
All right. Okay. Let's
quit the glaze, dude.
Right,
that's
relax.
crazy.
Let's not go.
You can't call Justin Herbert one of the best of all time.
All right.
At this point in his fucking career, that's nuts.
Maybe we gotta take the mic away from Jim because that's a little crazy.
That's nuts. I don't know when he said that, but
a team that's not playing this week, but had a lot of moves being made. You got your New York Jets.
New York football.
Now,
Jets.
The Jets got a weird situation because they built a team
Hmm.
to what? Have like a 2 year, maybe 3 year window to win as much as they could.
Well, shit,
Um,
dude. I mean, it was the expectation was not only to win games and make the playoffs, it was to give A Rod a shot to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, you just look at like, all right, A-Rod tears his Achilles, comes back, has a dog shit season
Hmm.
after the Jets move mountains for the man.
Every mountain they possibly could.
They've blamed every single person they possibly could.
Blame Robert Saleh. You blame.
Fire your coach. You fire your GM.
They just fired their GM. It's
Fire
like
your GM.
I don't. I guess the only reason you can fire the GM is because of the amount of power they maybe gave A Rod. But if we looked at a, if we looked at a, I don't know, if any other situation did this and a team picks up Aaron Rodgers, he gets hurt. Obviously, they have a iffy season, but they draft. I mean, he's been the GM for 6 years. They draft Sauce. They draft a couple other decent players, guys who were supposed to be on this team and play well. They go out and get Devontae this year. You would expect this team to be competing for at least their division.
But it's like, in what world do you keep your job for drafting a bust in like
Yeah,
Zach Wilson,
yeah.
and in this world where you know how much power you have to give to someone like Aaron Rodgers, you know how much you got to do. I mean, or not even but you saw how much they did for this team, and just to build around Aaron Rodgers. I just don't see how, and especially the owner saying he didn't plan on bringing Aaron Rodgers back.
The owner said that.
That's what I saw. I saw the owner. If you want to fact check me on that, but I saw a report that the owner said he didn't have
Well,
plans.
that's what made me think that the ownership and the higher ups were the ones who fired Salah. I don't think it was A Rod's decision to get rid of Salah.
But then that brings up a whole other conversation, which is like, if this ends in a way where the Jets do not want to bring Aaron Rodgers back,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is what, just on the market this offseason? Is that what we're looking at? I mean, is that
uh, yeah,
if you would have told me after the Achilles tear and the hype that they still had surrounded, the hype still surrounded around them, there's no
yeah.
fucking way you would have told me he would have been on the market the year after.
No.
There's no way.
I mean, he's not retiring after this year. I mean, he's still
You
willing and I
sure?
mean, he's still able enough to compete. I
Are
don't
you
think he
sure?
will. I don't think he'll go out like this. No. Um,
Is retirement on the table? I mean, here's the thing though. If you're
it, it,
playing,
it definitely is. He's fucking 40 years old, but
but when you play at this point in your career, you got to be playing because you want to play football.
yeah, I think he still very much wants to play football. I think he can.
Does he? I
Of
mean,
course.
you got to think, if you're 40 years old, you tear your Achilles, you come back, you play like shit. Do you really, like, how, you got to think, like, there's a world where you might lose some love for the game.
I'm gonna be honest. I think if he were to lose love for the game, he would have lost it a few years ago.
I guess.
Like I know this season is bad and all this shit, but I don't know who to blame.
But a couple years ago, he was still winning MVPs. I mean, like, would
Agreed.
it really have been a couple years ago, or would it have been now, literally the lowest of the low he could possibly, like? I mean, he's at a bigger low. He's at a lower low now than when he tore his Achilles, and he's
Which
healthy.
is very sad.
I mean, it's just,
Um,
I don't understand.
but yeah, this is a chicken or the egg situation. We don't know who is it A Rod? Is he that bad? Is it? I mean, it seems like this ownership is fucking terrible, which I think we know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean to to tear down your team mid-season doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Um,
I think they're
but
cleaning house.
fully. But I mean, they were the ones who put A Rod in this position to kind of do his thing, overhaul this team a little bit. But honestly, I think if A Rod didn't get hurt, Not sure they would have had a great season last year either.
Did you
They were what 7-10 last year and barely missed the playoffs.
barely miss
Not
the
barely,
playoffs?
but
Did you see the drama with the 76ers?
I've heard whispers of it. I heard some things about it. I heard Joel Embiid was calling people pieces of shit.
Yeah, so
Someone
apparently
leaked a Monday meeting or whatever.
there was
Team meeting.
a team meeting because obviously the 76ers have not started the season off too hot.
What are they?
Now when
2-13.
when you look at the report, so obviously Shams comes out with a report, and you read it. He leaks that they have a team meeting. Made a 2-11 start. Has them in last place in the Eastern Conference, and with their star trio of Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey, yet to play a game together. The Sixers held a team meeting following their loss to Miami Heat Monday night. The loss was the team's fourth in a row, sparking veteran guard Kyle Lowry to call for the meeting, a much-needed heart-to-heart, and a call to action and urgency, sources told ESPN. Players and coaches held each other accountable and took fault in the start to the season. Maxey challenged Embiid to be on time at team activities, calling out the league MVP about being late for everything and how it impacts the locker room from other players to the coaching staff. Sources briefed on the meeting told ESPN. Maxey and Embiid have a close friendship and history of holding each other accountable, according to those around the team. Tyrese loves big fella, but this is the elephant in the room, a person involved in the meeting told ESPN. Players told 76ers coach Nick Nurse they want to be coached harder, and coaches in turn said they want players to practice with purpose and attention to detail. Embiid accepted the message sent in the meeting, sources said, but he stated that he is sometimes confused about what the 76ers are attempting to execute on the court. Embiid, who is listed as doubtful most of Monday due to an illness, was not seen by most teammates and coaches throughout the day before appearing for warm-ups and playing in the game. Maxey is highly regarded as a young leader, blah, blah, blah. They transformed their roster after falling in 6 games to the Knicks. ESPN's Power Index ranked the Sixers third in its preseason rankings. Their over-under was 51.5. George, recovering from a bone bruise, played in 6 of the team's first 13 games. Embiid missed the start of the season as well, with what the team termed knee injury management, and then was suspended for 3 games for shoving Philadelphia Inquirer reporter Marcus Hayes. The team is 0-3 since his return. So not nothing crazy. I mean, it's
No, I mean it's. I would hope that a team that was 2-11 at the time would have a meeting.
Now, here's the thing. If you told me a team held a meeting, they all held each other accountable. They all were mainly focused on how to get back to a winning formula, and all they wanted to do was be coached harder and play better. That your star player wouldn't come out the next day furious after locker room leak. Star plans to find snitch. Bruh. You're 2-12. You need to worry about a lot of other things before you worry about who the snitch and let's be real, Paul George. It's Paul George. That's who told Sham. That's who told. Let's be real. Is it the guy that makes sure he has content for his podcast every week? It was Paul George.
You think he did that for his podcast?
10,000. Yeah,
because he did make a podcast after that.
Oh, do I think he leaked it so he could go and talk about it on the podcast? Nah, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. Yeah, I fucking think he leaked it so he can go talk about it on his podcast.
The thing is, it's like, I would hope all bad teams would have conversations like this. Now, this is different because this team is not supposed to be this bad or bad at all.
What are you mad about? I mean, what are you mad about?
Exactly.
You can't say
there's no personal information. Nothing happened. This is like, we suck. That's it.
You can't say.
Like, I guess you're not supposed to leak shit like this, but who cares?
But you cannot sit here and say, I want to be held accountable. I appreciate Tyrese Maxey for holding me accountable and speaking up, and I'm glad we're having these conversations.
And then shifting the focus.
To who told?
Yeah.
Who said this happened? Because I mean, let's be real. You look at Now, if you want to get into the details about why he did this shit to the reporter, all right, you can have your own morality conversation another day. There's another example of having your focus off of the basketball
Elsewhere,
court.
yeah.
You have that, plus this, bro's walking around
Plus
trying to
the
figure
saying I'm
out.
not playing back to backs. Plus all the shit where he's showing up late and all that.
Joel is going to be furious in that he was going to try to find the Sixers' supposed snitch. Whoever leaked that is a real piece of shit on Wednesday. But even then, we talked about a lot of things. I don't want to get into detail about the whole thing. Probably took 30 seconds. See, it's like this is not important.
The whole what took 30 seconds?
The part where Maxey held him told him that he needs held him accountable for showing up late. I need to be better. I need to be perfect. I need to be on point, which I'm going to do. So why are you mad? Like, this is just, I mean, I don't know. Is it just like an ego thing? Is this a, like,
It's immaturity. I mean, we've seen immaturity out of
bro, is
Embiid
he
most of
not
his
like
career.
30?
Bro is old.
I mean, and then you have this right here. Paul George also expressed disappointment that the team meeting was leaked during Thursday's episode of Podcast P, though he said the meeting itself was healthy. So, yeah, he has a full-on clip. Players only meeting leak. What's next for Sixers? Like, who the fuck do you
this
think
this is your fucking team. You should I don't know. It's weird.
This is the same thing as when Marlon Humphrey had fucking Deshaun Elliott on the
Steelers
podcast.
Player.
And he's like, yeah, well, you guys wanted to sign 32. You guys didn't want me. And then they make a clip out of it. It's like, oh, you know, it just, I don't know. Players worrying way too much about getting content from like drama in their own teams. If you really cared about wanting your team to bounce back, if you truly cared about wanting to be held accountable and wanting to be perfect, and this goes for more than Joel Embiid. I mean, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't sit there and make content out of it if you were Paul George. You wouldn't like. I'm just saying. Imagine if the Lakers started off 2-12, and LeBron was off doing podcasts, just like, yeah, you know, it's like I don't know what the problem is. I love playing with my son though. It's really fun. And you got AD streaming playing fucking GTA, but he's shooting fucking 3 for 11 and like, it's just people would be going crazy on the Lakers or certain players, but I don't know why even the media and just the public opinion is like, this isn't right that this came out, and this is wrong that this leaked. And it's like, no, this is wrong.
I think we're missing the point.
Yeah, like the whole point's being missed. It's like
the MVP from last year is saying he's not playing back-to-backs, is apparently not showing up on time, clearly isn't playing well at all.
And contradicts the shit out of him. I mean, he's contradicting the shit out of himself, because he's also sitting there like, he said, you know, I want to be perfect. But then he also had a quote like, you know, I think he's referring to like 1 or 2 times when I was late. Like, he's also trying to justify.
You're making
like
excuses. Who cares?
So it's like, what? Like, let's be real. Like, if you're gonna be mad, like, say you're mad and you think that shit should be, but you can't sit here and keep telling us how healthy of a conversation it was if you're this pissed it got out. I mean, it's just it's odd. So
I mean, like, this shit doesn't come out often, but if it, like, who cares? Like, it's not like a secret conversation that half the team had. The whole team was there.
It's not. It's really not a secret. It's not a secret at all. And if it was just a player and coaching staff meeting, your culprit is Paul George. That's all it is. It's not that hard to figure out who did that. And finally, the earliest we could possibly do this, because the conversations are already starting to be had around the NBA early trade rumors, early trade predictions. What we're looking at today is you got that young squad in Houston. And there was a report earlier, I don't know, maybe today or yesterday, that this article put in a way that, you know, I probably put it in a way better than I could have put it. But essentially, they came out and said that Houston Rockets came out and said that they are not willing to break up their young core for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Whether it's actually true or not, I couldn't help but wonder. This is their words. I couldn't help but wonder what the list of stars Houston would be open to breaking up their young core for. And now they're giving us about 9 players that they could consider. And what I'm gonna give you is the players. I'm gonna give you the players. We're gonna talk about the options. We'll talk about what could be most likely, what could be the best option. And then I also want to talk about some of these players that they said wouldn't be an option, including Giannis. Um, before we get started, Giannis, obviously, I think the biggest thing holding him back is just the experiment they're still trying to pull off in Milwaukee with him and Dame. I mean, there's really no reason to split that up this early. If it was just Giannis still soloing in Milwaukee, like with Chris Middleton as his second option, I could see that being a higher possibility. And then they also come out and say NBA stars just on the outside looking in. There are a few more players that we could probably eliminate from this hypothetical because they have many question marks that can be viewed as a risky move. That includes Devin Booker, who they say is not a clear number one, which I feel like is a conversation in its own. John Morant with off the court issues, which is, I don't know, that's a little stupid. De'Aaron Fox, not a clear number one. Zion, obviously, injury concerns. Lauri
Dude,
Markkanen,
Zion.
not a number one.
Sorry, I just looked up Zion, and you're saying that he is not close to returning.
Oh, we're gonna talk about you know
and
what? His agency.
He got a back tattoo.
Huh? Oh,
He got a back tattoo that everyone he like posted a picture or video, or whatever. His tits are sagging.
Was it like Mariah Mills?
I don't know if you could fit that on your back. Maybe his, but no, it's like a gremlin or a goblin or something.
Oh, that's fucking stupid. But yeah, no, Zion's definitely not an option on this list because he's like you said, not even close to returning.
Which is a fucking
injury. Which we knew that. I mean, they said like 8. I remember what was it, like 8? Fucking 8.
I think they said 6 or something.
We were looking at.
Was it 6 to 8 games?
No, there was definitely some weeks going.
Well, now they're saying it's like at least 6 weeks.
It was 4 to 6 weeks a week ago.
Now they're saying it's at least 6 and maybe longer.
Yeah, it's not. It's not happening for him. But what we do have are 9 players that they say, or that they believe Houston could consider breaking up their young core for. Now, if you're blanking on the Houston Rockets, the young names you would be looking at, you got Jalen Green, got Jabari Smith, you got Big Sangoon at the 5. They are, your young core players. Then they have,
Now, do you jump immediately to trading for guys? Like, I know that this team might not be on the level of an OKC, but in terms of talent, but they stuck with their dudes, and I mean, we don't know how good that will be for them down the road, but I mean, do you gamble on a Giannis? Do you gamble on someone else and throwing them into your system?
Well, Houston don't got like an SGA though.
That is true, but like Jalen, I think, has played well now.
He ain't, like 19 a game. He ain't SGA though.
Sure.
Like he let me fact check that, but like I feel like they're still looking for that. There is that. There is that spot for just one more guy to really take over. Now, the first person they have on here, I think there's absolutely no chance he's one of the most untouchable stars, and that's Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, definitely not.
He is not going anywhere. The Minnesota Vikings, the Minnesota Timberwolves are not even considering a trade.
I really hope that they don't consider getting rid of him.
No. Now, they say, why would he be a fit on the Rockets? Well, I mean, my reasoning would be because he's Anthony Edwards, but interestingly enough, the Rockets had some of that during James Harden's peak years with the team. However, now they're looking for it once again. It's pretty easy to realize how Edwards fits exactly what the Rockets or any other rebuilding team in the league would want. Landing one of the top players, these types of players is a trick, and for the Rockets, I'm not even sure if their entire young core would be enough compensation. There you go. It's not gonna.
You would have to give up.
You'd have to give up everything you're trying to build around to get someone like Anthony Edwards.
Well, yeah, you would give up two
Now,
or three pieces from that core.
now here's a name that I honestly feel like they kind of already tried to throw this guy around a bunch of, you know, they try to make this guy the number one, throw him a bunch around a bunch of other young and up and coming role players. It's Donovan Mitchell.
Mm.
You could try
Yeah,
that same experiment in Houston. I don't
yeah.
think anything bad would come from a Donovan Mitchell trade to Houston.
No, I think
Um,
he would slip pretty well into it, but it's just where that peak would be. It's like if they're looking to really like cement this team and like make a push, but Donovan ain't getting traded.
no, he's not.
Donovan ain't going nowhere. They're 16-1.
To say, especially with this start, if Cleveland doesn't have this type of start, and
Fucking
we're
chance.
already having conversations about here we go with Cleveland again,
Yeah,
like they're gonna.
but if they were fucking yeah
But
7-10 right now,
you look at the rest of the season and say Cleveland finishes with the second, third seed, and shit the bed first or second round, then you can start having
Donovan's
those
out.
conversations about getting Donovan out of
Agreed.
there. What? See, yeah, these
But
names.
is Donovan a one who's going to carry a younger core around, or does Donovan need to slip into a two role somewhere?
See, it's just I don't know. I don't know what. I know the answer is.
I think we'll know after this season
I
for
know it
sure.
wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be enough. This next one is Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum.
No.
Yeah, no. Coming off of an NBA championship, and the duo behind that is probably not getting broken up anytime soon. Now,
No.
if there's a world where JB just won it out,
JB's going to want out at some point. He's going to want to be the one somewhere
uh,
because he's the MVP or whatever. He
I,
might.
if I'm
He
getting
might.
paid, if I'm getting paid what JB's getting paid, bro, I don't
You are
care.
right.
Fuck the narrative they're pushing.
Sure.
I'm hooping in Boston. But yeah, this is just this is the problem we're starting to run into. It's like there are players that would be like, oh yeah, no question, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, sure,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not gonna happen.
They're not going.
Then you go down to
I mean,
all
Donovan
right,
Mitchell is the most plausible, and he's on a team right now that's 16-1.
and you drop down to Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker, and it's like, okay, like yeah, no, they could come over there and hoop. They
Mm-hmm.
come over there and put up some buckets, but it's like, what is really how long do they really survive in the playoffs?
Also, what are we giving up to get these guys?
That's another thing. We trading.
Like, are you giving up Jalen Green?
We're giving up half the young core. I mean, what are we putting up? Are we trying to keep Jalen Green? So
Are we giving up fucking draft picks and
so
role
are
players
we
to get a
throwing?
star?
Are we throwing like what? Is this like a Jabari Smith, Steven Adams, Dylan Brooks package we're putting together? Fred
Yeah.
Van Fleet package we're putting together? Like
Now, I think if we're going to talk Suns, I don't think snagging Beal would be a bad option.
I don't know. I feel
Someone
like
you have to give up less for. You get production out of him. He's only fucking putting up 17-4 right now, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be fully against. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if there was any move that could be
The
made
Suns
for
would make.
the Suns, it would be Beal. And I think we're still waiting on that, but I don't
But
know.
I really think that, like, if everything doesn't go right for the Suns team, they're going to just boot Beal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be the first guy to go. You're not fucking touching KD.
Unless
I wouldn't
KD
put
wants
Devin
to
Booker
leave.
out.
If KD
Huh?
wants to leave, I said unless KD wants to leave, which is
Unless KD wants to leave.
is
But
definitely an option.
we'll see.
But yeah, no, I mean Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, no. This one fully against Bam Adebayo. No,
Waste of time.
there's absolutely nothing that I feel like he could.
Nothing
bring.
Bam can bring.
You already have a 5. You already have a big who is more talented.
The problem with Bam, it's like he's only a 5 because he's on the Heat.
But like in Sangoon, you already got like what you really have been begging for out of Bam, which is just more offensive productivity.
Yeah.
And you just don't really get that out of Bam. So
He's averaging 19 right now, which isn't bad for him.
that's cool. Yeah,
But
it's whatever.
I don't.
But it's like
who cares?
if Bam could just learn how to fucking if Bam could just have, I'm telling you, Bam could put together a mid-range package, just a mid-range, just a couple. Us. Give
I
me
think if the Heat got a true center, they got a true five, a 6'11", 7-foot dude. That frees Bam up. That takes him off defense. He's not guarding fucking Joel Embiid every fucking game
but
or Jokic and
I
shit.
don't know if he is offensively talented enough to sit at the 4 in today's game and do
But
what
he
a
might
lot of
have the
fours.
option to be. But right now he's playing five for no
No,
fucking
no, no,
reason.
Devin. I completely understand that you could put somebody bigger and more dominant at the 5 and move Bam out of bio. But to me, he would do nothing but clog up more. I mean, it just to me it'd be a clog defensive. It'd be a clog offensively because he cannot like it's just you're basically asking him to step more out of the paint
Mm,
in more of an environment that he just doesn't get much done in. It's
sure.
just it's I feel like I've been begging for years at this point to have him just like can we just get an update on Bam? Like
Yeah.
can we just patch him up and give him an update because I need bro to form some type of jumper or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it if that would happen, but it's just not. I feel like moving him over to a 5 or throwing him over in Houston and putting him next to Sangoon, it's like what's the point?
True.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see, and I don't see this either. SGA. I mean, it's
He's not going
we're
anywhere.
talking about the driving force for like the youngest, most hyped team in the NBA. There's no
Yeah.
fucking way. There's no way SGA is going over there. Would it be a great move? Absolutely. Is it happening? No, it's not.
And like I don't even know why someone would put that on paper like
Yeah,
that.
or Luca. It's like, is Dallas? You really think Dallas is letting him walk to Houston? You think
Fuck
he's taking
no.
a 30-minute flight over to Houston? There's no
I
fucking
don't
way. We're
know,
not.
dude.
What are we talking about?
Why? I mean, my thing is like you're gonna have to find a team at the trade deadline who has a star and is already on their way out,
Mm.
who has no shot, they think, at being a playoff team. So, quite honestly, that could be the 76ers this year, depending on if they get better or not. Like, we should be looking at teams that are not playing well and might not be playing well by the trade deadline.
Now, if you look at like Paulo and Orlando,
Yeah,
to me, you could simply just look at the history of how Orlando handles their stars
sure.
and say, yeah, he could easily walk over to Houston. Out of
Agreed, yeah.
all of these players we've said, that's probably the most likely,
Yeah.
like the
I
most.
I like Paolo. I think he'd be a great one there. Um, and yeah, I mean, even if this team is in contention, they might just bounce him out. Is he hurt?
And then the final one, is he still hurt?
He might still be hurt.
Here's my problem. The final one they throw out here is Victor. In
Is
what
what?
fucking world is Victor Wembanyama moving anytime soon? He doesn't have to think about a new spot to live in for the next decade, at least.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no
Yeah, and the way that San Antonio handles their talent, there's not a chance he's going anywhere.
It's just, and I'm curious to see who they said like, they said NBA stars that are on the outside looking in. They said, the likes of okay, out of everybody they said, you're telling me there's not a higher chance Jimmy Butler ends up on the fucking Rockets?
Ooh.
Like, what are we talking? You're out of all the players we named, who's probably seen like the most likely to not be on their roster by the end of this season?
That's a bad list, whoever made that. Was that Bleacher Report?
This is not Bleacher Report. This is an article from
CBS?
it's sircharlesincharge.com. NBA trade rumors predicting 9 stars. Houston Rockets trade young core.
Yeah, no, I don't see any of those trades happening.
Yeah, out of all those, I'd say fucking just because
You
he's
know,
named.
Jimmy would be awesome.
Mhm.
A leader, a dude who's gonna go out and put up at least 25.
See, but the thing about even Jimmy Butler, it's like he don't want to go and waste his time with a bunch of fucking young guys trying to
But here's the thing, he's got to
figure it out.
I don't know. Are they still? I know it's the Heat, and they're never going to give up, and they're always going to try to fucking figure something out with this team. But Jimmy's got to break at some point, you know.
Yeah,
Maybe go.
it would be nice, but
Maybe go make a push.
he's getting up there in age too. I don't. That's the thing though. If he's gonna go try to make a push before he walks out, is it Houston? Is that where he's going to make that final push? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he. Maybe he does, but for Jimmy's career, I think it would be easier and better for him to go be a 2 or a 3 on a team to help out a somewhat established team.
For sure, like send bro to Golden State. If you
What was I
really wanna make something shake,
yeah.
then I'll start rooting for the damn Warriors.
And it's like the Rockets organization is nobody trusts either.
Fuck no. But with all that being said, we predicted all of Week 12's games. We talked Cleveland beating Pittsburgh Thursday Night Football. We talked the 76ers being way more worried about drama than their awful win-loss record this season. Some early trade predictions. Aaron Rodgers being on the market next off season is a high possibility. Is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Trying to think of anything stupid that happened this week.
Not much.
Justin Herbert is not anywhere near. Like, if you want to talk 100 greatest quarterbacks of all time, he's on that list. I don't know where he's on that list.
Devin.
50?
Devin.
You want me to
only
get
50 fucking quarterbacks in NFL history that are better than Justin Herbert?
20. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know if he makes 100.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he might touch a 100 list. But for him to be called anywhere near greatest of all time is.
Do you realize how many quarterbacks there are?
I mean, how many are in the Hall of Fame?
Not many, 30. But we're talking just a top 100 list of just skill.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Or just
we're throwing in fucking Jim Kelly, Frank Tarkenton.
What are we doing?
We're throwing in wild names. Bart Starr.
Bro.
Staubach.
There are probably hundreds.
Vinny Testicle.
There are probably hundreds you could put ahead of him.
Joe Flacco.
But yeah, I think if
you said there's hundreds you could put over?
Probably.
That's
want me? Do I have to come up with? All right.
Please don't try to do this.
All right, no. I'm going to have a list.
But it's such a stupid conversation to have with someone so young who's made the playoffs once and lost the game. If
I have to prove it, I'll come in here with at least 150 quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert.
Yeah. I'm just curious to know what Jim's reasoning is. Is like an eye test or something?
I guess. I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Shit, Colin Kaepernick might be higher up on that.
How does he feel about J.J. McCarthy then? I mean, like,
yeah.
How does he really feel? Yeah. With all that being said, we will be back on Tuesday to discuss all of Week 12's games, give some predictions for Thursday Night Football, talk some more NBA drama. Maybe Joel finds that snitch.
Oh yeah.
And he does something about it.
And I hope he pushes him.
Yeah, I hope he pushes him too. He pushes the snitch. But with all that being said, we have brand new episodes every Saturday and Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of On It. It has been me. It has been Devin. It has been real. We are out.
Trust the process.